Welcome to Let's Share, hosted by me, Leah Byers, president and founder of Have Anita Ministry, a faith-based nonprofit that promotes the human interaction of sharing what we have and expressing what we need. The guests in the podcast are the people who I have connection stories with and have something meaningful to share in their communities of connection. Thank you for listening. Let's share. Today is an awesome day because I have an opportunity to talk with two amazing people who work with an amazing organization that, in addition to Have Anita Ministry, I also happen to be on the board of, from Hope for Miami. And so I want to introduce Yvonne Sawyer, one of the co-founders of Hope for Miami and president, and Mr. Jay Martinez, the CEO. Welcome.
Thank
Hello,
you.
thank you.
So excited that you're here. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about a lot of things because Hope for Miami is now a 25-year-old organization. That is amazing. We even have an upcoming gala, which is going to be very exciting. But I think it would be a beautiful thing for people to understand the heart, Yvonne, of why this organization was even started and how things have played out. And, the focus of Let's Share podcast is talking about sharing. And obviously, you all are very great people that can show what that is. And so let's have a chat. Tell us how this all got started.
When I moved to Miami to marry Rick Sawyer, we dreamed about what God could do with the combination of our skills and abilities and what God needed to happen in Miami. The original name was Family and Children Faith Coalition, because what we were trying to do is bring together the churches to solve community problems and help them to do so along the way. A few years later, we ended up changing the name to Hope for Miami. We felt that was a little more appropriate to what we were doing. And because we broadened our reach beyond just the churches and ministries to working with the schools and businesses and colleges, community organizations. So together, we believe we can bring shalom or universal flourishing to Miami through the programs we offer and the things that we've had to share over the years.
Wow, that's wonderful. One of the things I think is really interesting for people to hear on an organization that has made it this far, this long. Initially, I imagine the shift from thinking that the churches were going to be a main part of it to how it's spread out to being affiliated with a lot of different types of collaboration. How was that journey for you, and what has played out for Hope for Miami today in the journey?
Well, I think it goes back to the original founding principles. I mentioned the word shalom earlier, which most people think of as just the word peace, as though there's an absence of war. But the way we interpret shalom is this idea of all aspects of the community working together in tandem, with everyone sharing their gifts and abilities to make us a better place. And if you want to see this illustrated, we've got a video on our website on the homepage that illustrates what that shalom means to us and how that impacts what we do in our community.
And the website is hopeformiami.org. So as long as it's on the main site, find that very quickly. That's wonderful.
Exactly.
All right. Now, Mr. J, you are a CEO of this organization. And I don't remember what year, but how did this all happen for you that you felt that this was your place?
It happened overnight. I feel like it because we didn't prepare for it, to be honest. Like when I was graduating high school, never ever did I ever think I was going to lead a nonprofit or I was going to be a CEO of anything. I had the dreams of becoming a NBA player. Unfortunately, I didn't get the height. And then joining the Air Force, I always felt I liked medicine. I liked to take care of people. Being an aerospace medical technician in the Air Force kind of showed me a little bit of how to give back. Graduating high school, having my Air Force career, when time came to get out, I was like, okay, what do I do? I know I like serving. I know I love coaching basketball, so went back and got my degree in physical education. I was gonna be a PE coach and coach some basketball team somewhere. It didn't matter where it was, I just wanted to coach. I guess God had different plans, and little behold, I came to Hope for Miami as a health educator, really gravitated to the idea of what we were doing as an organization of just going in and talking to the youth about making healthy choices. Growing up in Miami myself, I never really had anybody give us the talks or the opportunities or the ears that we are doing with this organization. So immediately I was like, I could be one of these youth that we are impacting. And to know that we were making a big impact, I was like, I think I'm home. And I started putting those extra tools of what I've learned throughout my lifetime in this organization, whether it was from changing something or putting a nail in the wall so somebody can hang something, or other side of what the Air Force taught me, which is just to manage budgets, to be a program manager. I was putting all my tools into this organization, and I am very thankful for what Miss Yvonne and Mr. Rick have done to lay that foundation for individuals like me to be able to find a home outside of what we thought we were going to be doing in life. And I think that's what God really has an intention for all of us. Even though I believe I needed this organization, I would like to believe that this organization needed me as well. In the many different roles that I played here, because I moved from place to place, different responsibilities. And like I said, overnight, I was like, okay, so the pandemic happened. We're gonna put you in this role. And I was like, I've been ready for it. I've been ready for it. I think God has prepared me for it, and He has given me the tools to be able to do what we've been doing for the many years that I've been here at Hope for Miami. So it's a blessing for me.
I think that's a really beautiful way to talk about the Have a Need a Ministry mindset of giving plus receiving equals sharing, and the idea that you were able to receive something amazing from Hope for Miami and Rick and Yvonne, and at the same time be able to give back. And the combination of that has turned out to benefit so many. There's a major ripple effect of that opportunity. And the other thing I love to talk about in these podcasts, when I have the opportunity, if I know the people, is to talk a little bit about just our personal history and connection and some of the fun things that we've been able to do. And so, Yvonne, one of the things that has been so great that we've been able to share our homes with each other
Mhm,
in seasons. You've been
mhm.
very generous to let us come and stay and visit with you, and you've come and stayed with us at times. And it's just a beautiful way to get to know somebody and share not just professional efforts, but personal efforts, and how that really just makes such a difference. What are some other thoughts on the sharing piece that you have found fun?
Well, we've always felt like when we came to Miami, that Rick and I had gifts that Miami needed. He was a pastor, he spoke Spanish, he knew the community, whereas I came with nonprofit management, grant writing skills that we felt like together we could make an impact on what Miami needed. So over the years, we've gotten to know lots of pastors, lots of organizations, and we felt like helping to build their capacity, even like sharing grants and, helping them with resources that they needed was an important part of our MO as an organization, even though that isn't part of our mission. It isn't necessarily even part of anything written down anywhere. But God called us to give our lives to make Miami a better place.
And you have provided hope for Miami, which has been amazing. And I think that there is something about, again, it's not just a professional effort, it's a personal effort as well. And
Mhm,
it's
mhm,
just sharing who you are. And Mr.
mhm.
J, I love you sharing about your background in physical education and basketball. And one of the things that we have in common is I have a husband who was a PE teacher for 30 plus years and
Mhm.
basketball coach and all of that stuff. And just seeing you guys get along very well has been a lot of fun. And I think that relational piece is also just a beautiful thing when you are trying to make an effort, because
Mhm.
a lot of times if we just stay very professional in our relationships and conversations, we can't really see all the gifts and abilities and talents that we all have that can actually be fun too,
Mhm.
and make life a better place. And in some of my research on what's happening globally right now, that is one of the biggest challenges for teams and organizations, is to lock arms and walk together instead of having this authoritarian type of mindset. And I feel
Mhm.
like Hope for Miami has an amazing team of people doing a variety of projects.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'd love for you to talk about is how your team shares yourselves to move forward in some of the really challenging work that you're doing in the community.
I think it all comes down to our foundation, right? And even all of us pulling together, because I am one of those individuals. I believe it or not, I am an introvert. I I don't feed off a lot of communication. It drains me a little bit, but what we have here is different people from different walks of life, just feeding off each other, feeding off the energy. And one of the biggest things that I say is like, we can kind of build our skills. We can get to a certain level to do the work. But what you cannot really kind of build on is like those individuals that have a passion for serving and for giving. So I think we've been blessed as an organization to be able to portray that, to say, listen, this is what God has called us to do. And although different levels or different places in our lives, like we're here all together for the same reason, and that's to serve our community.
Mhm.
So I'm a big person that I try to remind our staff and myself of our why. Why are we here? Because I was actually talking to somebody today on the phone, and we were like, listen, it's like athletics, right? Like if you have a passion for something and you have a goal to be the best, on those days, whenever you don't feel like working out, or you don't feel like hitting the gym or hitting the basketball court or the football field, you're gonna go because you have that in your mind and inside of you, that intrinsic motivation to do something. And I think that's what we portray here and have here as an organization is that our staff, they have that intrinsic motivation to serve. And we get past those things and we share with each other, we talk to each other. So one of the biggest things that we learned through the pandemic is to open up those doors of vulnerability to be able to talk to each other so we can communicate and meet each other where we're at. And if I need to pull back because somebody's having a tough day, I will pull back. Man, tomorrow we'll go back to it because we need to get it done. But today I might pull back and say, I'm gonna give you your space. Right. So is that vulnerability and just be able to be open and to talk with each other. Have those hot conversations, like I say.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. And the other thing that I think is amazing to look at with your team, and I don't know how much this has impacted them, but a 25-year organization, that means that if you guys have been working with children and youth for 25 years, those people aren't children and youth anymore.
Some of them became our staff.
That's exactly what I would
Yeah.
love to chat about a little bit is
Yeah.
what do you think the ripple effect has been for you giving that has ended up allowing you to receive?
Well, I want to piggyback a little bit on what Mr. J was just saying, because, and that would also answer your question. Hope for Miami has a collaboration model. We hardly ever do it ourselves. We are partnering with other organizations because any single nonprofit or school or organization can't do everything, but we can come in and provide what they can't do or what they don't have the funding to do or the staff to do. And that has had some ripple effects. There's a whole bunch of organizations that I could name that we partnered with that went on to bigger and better things. There's also an awful lot, like I said, of individuals who had been in our after school program as a 5-year-old that ended up be volunteering or ended up working for us during the summer or something like that. There's been the ripple effects of that collaboration model that makes all the difference in the world in terms of fulfilling our idea of what shalom looks like. So it's not just the people, it's also the other organizations that we have impacted by working together and having that mindset, because not everybody wants to collaborate. They want to do their own thing, build their own name for themselves, and that's it. We've kind of taken a low-key approach for a long time of, doesn't matter who gets the glory, the work is getting done.
And I think one of the most fascinating things about your organization that you don't see in all organizations that are nonprofits, that especially ones that focus a lot on having grants,
Mm-hmm.
is that you all have grants from the local, state, and national level, which is a
Mm-hmm.
fascinating thing. that you've been able to leverage at the same time being a faith-based organization.
Mhm.
And I'd love for you to share a little bit about just the journey of that, how that all got started for you, and how it's been a blessing for so many to be able to do that.
Well, there's sort of a misunderstanding about whether or not faith-based organizations are eligible to apply for grants and win them. When we started, I came here from New York City and I had contacts across the nation that were doing the same kind of thing. Here in Miami, it wasn't so common, but we have found all a funder looks for is, are you able to do the work? Do you have the capacity? Do you have the experience? And can you articulate what those goals are? And there were some laws put in place back in 1996 under President Clinton that clarified what nations were eligible for in terms of funding. So in an opportunity as they presented themselves, we have taken advantage of them because, again, we saw that as part of our mission. Are there funders who didn't fund us because they didn't like the faith-based aspect? Probably. But God's in charge. We've had more than sufficient resources to do what we needed to do.
Oh, that's awesome. And it is very impressive to see all the different opportunities that you all have leveraged with grant opportunities for so many. The benefit has been for so many people. It's not just people that necessarily come from a faith-based environment. You're working to help everybody in the community, and there's a ripple effect of that that is just so amazing. And again, it circles back to you all having even a beautiful thing that happened recently with an organization that does events that decided to open the door for you to help us have a gala to celebrate the work that has been accomplished with Hope for Miami. And I'd love to hear about that because I would love for people to know that this is coming.
I'll let Mr. J take that one because he's the one that made those connections and made it happen.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. But before the pandemic hit, like, we were looking to do a celebration. I think we were looking at the 20-year celebration to highlight the many years that we've done, the work that we've done, and to be able to continue to serve our communities. So, of course, the pandemic changed everything for all of us, and it put those plans on the back burner. Nothing happens by chance, right? And I think, God is in control, and we gave it up to him. And my role is to connect, try to remove obstacles for our organization in whatever way possible. And I also do believe that some of our staff have great gifts as well. So within our staff doing what they do well, and we made a connection with somebody who knew this Creativas is the organization or the business that we're working with. And everything just hit off. Everything was so perfect. Everything just went on. It was like, hey, we'll do all of this for you. I'm like, wait up a second. So all we had to do was just be who we are and you handle everything else. She's like, yeah, we'll take care of everything for you. You just let us know what you're trying to do. And from there, the ball started rolling and we were like, all right, let's make this happen. No better time than now, 25 years, to be able to highlight the work that we've done as an organization, that we continue to serve, and the turn that we have made as well. I like to say that I came in when looking at a 16-year-old, starting to become adults, when we're trying to figure out what do we want to do in life? And then at 25, our insurance doesn't drop till we turn 25, right? So we're still young. We've still been trying to figure out exactly what it's going to be. So exciting to look at the vision of our organization and where we're going and the individuals that come alongside of us to form those threads and to start building that shalom that Ms. Yvonne and Mr. Rick at the beginning, what they have seen coming as an organization. And I'm so proud just to be a part of this and the connections that we made in next month on October 19th, to be able to put it all together and just highlight the sky full of stars and everybody else who has played a role in what we've done as an organization. You're just looking forward to celebrating with everybody and everything that we have done.
Well, that is a true demonstration of you get to reap what you sow. And you all have committed for so many years. And Yvonne, you and Rick, just the heart that you came into this with, and you guys are very different, and how you've done it, you come in together and God has used you, and then he brought you somebody to step into play at a perfect season, and now you've invested so much that the Lord gave you an opportunity to have an event, a gala, at the most fabulous place in Miami I can think of having it, which is at the
Right.
Biltmore Hotel.
Right.
What a great opportunity for that, and for people to have a chance to attend a fancy event with the stars and the glitter and the food, and just the celebration is just a really great thing. And is there still time for people to register for that event to be able to attend?
Yes, there's still spots available.
Great. And there's still sponsorship available through October 4th, correct?
Through October 4th, if any business or other organization wants to be a sponsor, it's all on our website, hopeformiami.org/gala. Everything's there.
Wonderful. So with the event coming, what is the most exciting thing that you're hoping to experience when you're there?
Well, I look at this as a celebration. I mean, most of the time people are focused on, here's a bunch of money we want to raise, and that would be a marvelous gift. But our approach is, let's celebrate what God has done, what has been accomplished. And the partners, the board members, the sponsors, the people who have given back to us, we want to do.
All the stakeholders.
Right.
And in terms of the opportunity for your ability to have this celebration and doing it at the Biltmore Hotel and doing it at a really nice season when you're not competing with a lot of other holidays and things like that, it should be a really fun time for people. And honestly, like you said, with the pandemic, a lot of this type of stuff has not happened. These galas have not been as present and popular, and I think it's time. So I think it's a wonderful thing for you all to be able to do. And I think it's a great opportunity for people to really see how you have been blessing the youth and children of Miami. And also, if you've been blessing the children, you've been blessing their families, their parents, their guardians, all of those things, and other organizations that have really needed, like you said, the extra support. So it's a great time to really celebrate and share the investment that Hope for Miami has made into Miami, literally. And are you hoping to make it another 25 years?
Not in my lifetime. I don't think I'll be alive then. Thanks. You never know. I'm not Methuselah.
Well, nowadays people are living quite long, so
I know, but
think you
do the
can,
math.
Darren. Yeah, it's a beautiful season and a beautiful opportunity to really do that. Is there any other things that you would like to share about what's going on with Hope for Miami, or what you would like to receive as Hope for Miami in the next coming season?
Well, I think what I would like to share is that yes, we are celebrating and doing what we've done for 25 years, but what I also love is what we're doing right now is that we're allowing individuals that in their regular jobs, right? In your accounting job and if you're sitting in an administrative job in the office and you're not getting your tank filled, that as an organization, we can be an organization where you can get your tank filled by volunteering with us, by coming in and joining us in our celebration, or just being able to come in and do homework with the kids, or come out and run around a little bit, get that exercise in our organization, fill your tank. So put in a little bit of work. So I love that we are becoming an organization where we can bring individuals or even corporate world, as businesses have joined with us and say, hey, we would like to do a gift wrapping, we would like to donate some toys. We want to get back. And we're seeing a tick and increase in that with those corporate events or corporate volunteering opportunities taking hold. But what I love the most is that we have a lot of youth organizations, clubs in the schools contacting us that they want to get back, that they want to volunteer, that they want to start a drive. The youth voice speaks the loudest, speaks louder than we can ever do and make more of an impact. And I love that we're giving them an opportunity as well as an organization. So is that we want to be an organization that serves, but also opens the doors for other individuals to come and serve and put in work as well. So that's the goal, is to continue to foster that, to continue to provide that, because at the end of the day, just like Romans 12:4-5 talks about the body of Christ and every part having its meaning, and just after our threads, all of us have a meaning. All of us have a purpose, and our community needs us.
Absolutely.
And let me tell one little story of something that I found out about this week. In our new offices, we are having a mural put on the walls that illustrates the kind of things that we do in the community. I found out from our volunteer coordinator, we've had young people driving by the office, seeing that mural and realizing that we were there in the community, and they've called to volunteer. They didn't know we were there, and now they're looking at this building and saying, "Oh, there's great things going on here. I want to get connected. I want to do my community service here." I just thought that was sweet.
That is beautiful. And it's just, again, it's a demonstration. And I'm sure in the past 25 years, there's been some ups and downs and
Mhm.
challenges and seasons of, is this going to keep going? Is this going to really work? And you just kept investing and going forward and sowing, and now the reaping is coming, and it's not even something you've had to work that hard for. It's coming without expectation
Mhm.
and surprise, and that's a beautiful thing
Mhm.
because you all have invested so much, and now people want to invest in you, and I think that's a beautiful component of the whole point behind the Let's Share podcast. We should be
Mhm.
sharing, and that is
Mhm.
how God designed us. That is his original plan for us,
Mhm.
was to share, because that's who our God is.
Mhm.
He planned to share his one and only son for
Mhm.
us, that we might know him and have eternal life with him, because he's always wanted us to be with him. And
Mhm.
just the idea of being able to be with an organization that has been investing and investing and investing and is receiving the same. It's just a beautiful thing. Congratulations. I look forward to this wonderful gala coming up. So as we wrap up, I think it'd be great to just re-give the information of the website and the opportunity, the name of the event and the date, and let's share.
You can follow us or join us or find more information at hopefulmiami.org. Find everything as Ms. Yvonne stated, the video on Shalom, but also some information on our gala, which will be October 19th at the Billmore. Forward to having anybody who can join us, but even if you can't make it to that, our doors are open here at Hope for Miami. Join us and be a part of the next 25 years as we continue to put in work in our community.
Anything else, Yvonne?
No, that was well said. Thank you.
Thank you all again for being a part of this podcast today. I do want to remind everybody that you guys are also on social media, all platforms, right?
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
The great part about that is you get to provide all the information for all the different programming that you're doing, as well as hiring opportunities, because I know
Yep.
that there are opportunities that are both seasonal and also full-time and
Yeah.
part-time. So
Yes.
people have the opportunity, if they want to be involved in a great organization like yours, they can look and check it out. So,
Indeed.
Awesome.
all right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for sharing your time listening to this Let's Share podcast. Our hope is that you receive some inspiration to give and receive, because giving plus receiving equals sharing. If you want to learn more about Have a Need a Ministry, go to haveaneedaministry.com. Look forward to connecting soon.